I need you to listen to me very carefully. If you've stumbled across this recording, it means one of two things. Either I managed to get this story out before they silenced me, or you've already seen the same link I did. If it's the second one, then I'm sorry. You're already marked. People always think the internet is harmless. Just a million voices shouting into the void, 1,000 servers, 1,000 invites, just endless noise. But one invite, just one, was enough to unravel my life. I don't mean I lost my job or my friends or that I spent too much time online. I mean my life was shredded, pulled apart thread by thread until the only thing left of me was whatever you're hearing right now. And it started with something so stupid. A link. A simple Discord invite glowing on my screen at 2 in the morning. I can almost laugh at how ordinary it looked. Just another server link like the dozens I'd joined for games or memes or late-night conversations. There was nothing special about it, nothing to make me hesitate, except for a strange, gnawing instinct that I should. That if I clicked it, I wouldn't be able to take it back. I wish I had listened. God, I wish I had listened. See, people tell stories online all the time. Creepypasta, urban legends, haunted servers, and dark web horrors. We like them because they feel safe. You close the video, you shut down your computer, and the fear doesn't follow you. But this wasn't a story. This was real. And if you don't believe me, then stay. Listen. See how far you make it before the notifications start. Before your phone buzzes with a message from someone you don't remember adding. Before your username appears in places you never typed it. Because that's what happens, it spreads. I used to think servers were built by people, controlled by admins, run by code. But this one, it ran itself. It chose us. Pulled us in one by one like baited fish. And once you were inside, there wasn't any leaving. At least, not in a way that left you whole. I don't know how long I have before they realize I'm talking to you. I can already hear the faint chime of a notification in the back of my mind, even though my computer is off. Even though I smashed my phone yesterday. The sound doesn't stop. It's inside me now. So listen closely. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because you need to know. If you get an invite from a server with no name, no members, and no creation date, don't click. Don't even hover over it. Because I did. And it was the biggest mistake of my life. Let me explain how it all started. I should probably back up before I lose you. The truth is, there was nothing special about me. I wasn't some hacker digging through the dark web or a paranormal investigator looking for trouble. I was just me, a 20-something student who spent more time behind a screen than outside my apartment. Classes during the day, part-time job in the evenings, and then Discord until way too late. That was my routine. I don't think of myself as antisocial, but I guess I was lonely. Discord made it easy. You could find a server for anything, gaming groups, anime clubs, even study halls where people streamed their homework just to have company. I liked that. The chaos of memes, the random voice calls, the flood of inside jokes. It made me feel like I was part of something bigger, even if none of us ever met in person. Most nights ended the same way. Me scrolling through servers I had no business joining. Sometimes I'd lurk in channels just to watch arguments about which Pokémon could beat which, or drop into a music bot channel to listen to strangers' playlists. It was harmless, safe, a background hum of human connection. That night, though, I remember the exact mood I was in. Restless. The kind of bored that feels like hunger, like you're searching for something you can't name. I've been flipping between servers for hours, none of them sticking. Same recycled memes, same dead voice channels, same tired arguments. My friends list was empty, no one online. I kept staring at that glowing green plus button, the one that says join a server. That's when I saw it. It wasn't sent to me directly, at least not in the way you'd expect. It appeared in one of those small servers I'd nearly forgotten about, an old gaming group that hadn't been active in months, buried in a dead channel as if someone had slipped it there on purpose. No message, no context, Just a Discord invite link, dangling like bait. The username who posted it, I'll never forget it, was Ashes in Reverse. I'd never seen them before. Checked their profile and got nothing. No mutual servers, no profile picture, no status. The account was blank, too blank. I told myself I'd ignore it, that I wasn't desperate enough to click some random link left by a stranger. But my curiosity had other plans. I copied it, hovered over it, even pasted it into my browser once before closing the tab. That gnawing feeling came back, the one I mentioned earlier, that if I clicked, I'd regret it. It should have ended there, but the next time I checked the server, the link was gone, deleted, and so was the user. That should have been the biggest red flag. A phantom account, a vanishing link, a dead server suddenly stirring to life. But instead of warning me off, it only made me want it more. I couldn't shake the thought, why post it once only to erase it? Was it a test? A mistake? A secret I wasn't supposed to see? I obsessed over it. That night I even dreamed about it. The blue glow of my monitor, the cursor hovering over accept invite, my finger frozen in midair. When I woke up, my laptop was still on, Discord still open, as if the dream had leaked into reality. I wish I could tell you I stopped there, that I shut the computer, went for a walk, lived my life. But boredom, loneliness, and curiosity are a dangerous mix. A few days later, the link returned. Not in the same channel, but in my DMs. The sender, you guessed it, Ashes in Reverse. This time, there was a message attached. You looked curious, thought you'd want a second chance. My stomach dropped. How did they know I'd seen it the first time? That I'd hovered over it, debated clicking it, dreamed about it. The message was short, casual, but it felt personal, too personal. When I clicked on their profile again, it was still blank. Still no mutual servers, still no posts, like the account had been created solely to reach me. I should have blocked them, reported the account, done anything but what I did. Instead, I stared at that link for a long time, the glow of my monitor burning into my retinas. The apartment was silent. My phone was silent. My life was silent. And then, just like before, the message vanished. The account vanished. My DM history was wiped clean. I was left alone with nothing but the memory of it. Or at least, that's what I thought. Because later that night, when I opened Discord one more time, the link was waiting again, sitting in my clipboard like I had copied it without realizing. That was the moment I gave in. That was the moment everything changed. At first, it seemed normal. That's what scared me most. When I finally clicked that invite link, my heart hammered so hard I thought I'd misclicked out of sheer nerves. But the page loaded, and Discord greeted me with its usual pop-up. You've been invited to join. The server name was blank, just an empty space as if the title had been erased or never existed. For some reason, that should have been a deal-breaker, but instead it pulled me in. I accepted. The screen blinked, and suddenly I was inside. At first glance, it looked normal. Too normal, almost. A handful of channels lined the sidebar, general introductions, memes, the standard starter kit for any new community. There were maybe 20 usernames online, most of them idle. The icons were strange, though. Some were distorted faces, others just blank gray circles. One was a spiral that seemed to pulse faintly when I stared at it too long. The chat itself was quiet. Too quiet. A few scattered messages scrolled by, half-finished memes, nonsensical jokes, conversations that looked like inside references I wasn't part of. Elmau reset again. Now wait for the signal. Anyone see the Ash one yet? I didn't understand any of it, but it had the rhythm of people who did. Like walking into a room mid-conversation where everyone already knows the punchline. Still, nothing screamed danger. I'd been in weirder servers, so I did what anyone does. I introduced myself, typed a simple, "Hey, just joined. What's this place about?" For a long moment, nothing happened. No reply, no welcome emojis, just silence. I almost backed out, figuring it was a dead server when a message finally popped up. From a user named Mod7. Glad you made it before the reset. I froze, rereading it 3-4 times. What reset? Why did it sound like they'd been waiting for me? Before I could respond, another user chimed in, username echoing. New fish always ask, just wait. Their icon was unsettling, like a blurred face caught mid-scream. I stared too long, and for a second I thought I saw the mouth move. I blinked, shook it off. Just a trick of the eyes. I scrolled back through older messages. That's when I noticed the timestamps. Some messages were dated days ahead, others months behind. A handful bore no timestamp at all, just floating in the chat like ghosts. Another red flag, the member count. At the top it said 12 online/0 total members. How could you have people online but no one officially listed? I told myself it was just a bug, maybe a Discord glitch. But deep down, a knot of dread tightened in my stomach. Then came the pings. Not at everyone, not even at me. Just the soft ding of a notification, but no message appeared. Every time I clicked the unread marker, there was nothing there. Yet my DM counter kept climbing. 1, 2, 3, but when I opened my inbox, empty. That was when I realized I wasn't exploring the server. The server was exploring me. I typed again, trying to sound casual. So, what reset are you talking about? No one answered. The chat went dead like a switch had flipped. Just as I was about to log off, a new channel appeared in the sidebar. I swear it hadn't been there before. It slid into view beneath memes, glowing faintly. The title read, Doors. And before I could even click it, a DM popped up from Mod7 again. Don't worry, you'll see soon. A shiver went through me. I told myself it was just an edgy roleplay server, that these were just bored trolls trying to creep me out. But something about the timing, the way channels appeared only when I hesitated, the way the usernames seemed to watch me, made it feel different. I hovered my cursor over doors. My palms were sweating, my chest tight. Every instinct screamed to close the window. But curiosity won, like it always does. That's when I saw the first channel open up. The channel title pulsed faintly in the sidebar, #doors, as if waiting for me. Nobody else seemed to notice it, or if they did, they weren't saying anything. My mouse hovered over it for what felt like an hour before I finally clicked. At first it was blank, just an empty room. A few usernames flickered in and out of the member list like shadows darting past a doorway. Then a single message appeared. Confess. That was it. No context, no username attached. Just a floating word anchored in the middle of the chat. I thought maybe it was some edgy roleplay thing, but then more messages appeared, rapid fire, like people had been waiting for the cue. I stole her eyes when she wasn't looking. He begged me to stop, but I couldn't. The fire wasn't an accident. One after another, horrifying confessions filled the channel. Some read like crime stories, others like nightmares. The usernames beside them glitched constantly, flickering between random letters and symbols so fast I couldn't track who was saying what. I tried scrolling up, but the messages rearranged themselves each time. Words blurred, sentences rewrote themselves before my eyes. One line that had said, "I buried him under the house," shifted into, "I buried you under the house." That was when my chest tightened, because whoever or whatever was typing, it wasn't just talking about random victims. It was talking about me. A DM pinged, echoing again. Your turn. I froze. I hadn't told them anything about myself. Hadn't even typed a single word in this channel. Yet another message appeared almost instantly, this one in the chat itself. Welcome, my real first name, confess. My stomach dropped. I hadn't used my real name on Discord ever. It wasn't in my username, my bio, or my email. But there it was, bright as day. I slammed the keyboard with random letters just to see if the chat would react. Nothing. The messages just kept rolling in. More confessions, more flickering names. The room felt crowded even though no voices spoke. And then another channel appeared, right beneath doors. Midnight room. A few users immediately pinged me. Not yet. You're not ready. Stay indoors until it calls. It was nonsense, but the way they typed it made me feel like breaking the rules would mean something worse than just being banned. I typed out a shaky message. What is this server even for? For a long moment, silence. Then Mod 7 finally replied. To prepare. Prepare for what? I typed back. The reset. That word again, reset. I stared at it, not knowing why it filled me with such dread. Another user jumped in, Ashes in Reverse, the one who had sent me the link. Don't look at Channel 7, unless you're ready to never sleep again. The chat erupted with laughter emojis, distorted GIFs, and scrambled text that looked like corrupted code. My whole screen shook as if Discord itself was glitching. I closed the window, reopened it, but everything was still there. The usernames flickered faster now. Some transformed into strings of numbers. Others mimicked my own username for a split second before snapping back. And all the while, the chat repeated a single phrase. Confess, confess, confess. I don't know why I did it. Maybe out of fear, maybe out of desperation to blend in. But I typed. I sometimes wonder if anyone would notice if I disappeared. The second I hit enter, the entire chat froze. No more scrolling, no more flickering. Every user online went silent. For 10 full seconds, nothing moved. Then they all replied at once. We noticed. I nearly slammed my laptop shut, but something stopped me. A sense that if I logged off, they wouldn't let me back out so easily. That whatever I had stepped into had already followed me. The DM counter lit up again, this time from Ashes in Reverse. Good, you've opened the first door. My hands were shaking. I wanted to quit. To uninstall Discord, throw my laptop out the window, scrub myself clean. But the messages kept pouring in, encouragements, inside jokes, coded phrases I didn't understand. It almost felt like I was being initiated into some secret club. And the terrifying part, for a split second it felt good, like I belonged. That illusion shattered when Midnight Room lit up, glowing brighter than the others. My notifications exploded. It's calling. Don't ignore it. Go now. I sat frozen, cursor hovering over the channel. Every nerve in my body screamed to leave, but that same gnawing curiosity tugged at me again. The same hunger that had dragged me here in the first place. I should have left right then. But I didn't. The Midnight Room wasn't the only one. As soon as I hovered over it, more channels began to appear, multiplying like cracks in glass. Veil, hash numbers only, hash feed. None of them were visible a minute ago. Against every ounce of judgment I had left, I clicked feed first. The channel layout looked wrong from the start. No messages, no emojis, no pinned posts, just live streams. At least they looked like live streams. Rows of tiny windows embedded right inside Discord, each marked with a username. I blinked, thinking it had to be some clever embed trick. But when I clicked one, the screen expanded into a grainy black and white video feed. It wasn't a game or a movie. It was someone's bedroom. A real one. I could see posters peeling off the wall, clothes scattered on the floor, the faint rise and fall of someone sleeping in bed. Their face was turned away, but the camera was definitely hidden somewhere in their room. The chat stayed silent, but usernames popped into the viewer list. People were watching. Some even typed reactions in real time. She's about to wake up. Watch her eyes. Wait for the reset. I closed the feed instantly. My heart thudded so hard it hurt. This had to be a prank, a creepy ARG something. But when I tried to report the channel, Discord didn't even register the option. It was like the normal rules didn't apply here. Another new channel appeared beneath it, numbers only. Inside were hundreds of files, each just a string of digits. No extensions, no names, no explanations. Against my better judgment, I clicked the top one. At first, nothing, just static. Then faint audio broke through, garbled screaming, distorted like it had been recorded underwater. My skin prickled as I realized it wasn't just random noise. There were words hidden in the shrieks. My name, over and over, buried in the distortion. I yanked my headphones off, but the sound kept playing, muffled through the speakers, even though I had muted Discord. I shut the file, tried another. This one was a video, flickering and corrupted, shapes moving in a dark room. Then the image sharpened just enough for me to recognize the layout of the walls, the arrangement of the desk, the posters on the side. It was my room. The camera angle showed the back of my chair, where I was sitting right now. And though the video was grainy, I could see a faint outline of a figure standing behind me. I spun around so fast I nearly fell over, but there was nothing there, just the silent hum of my monitor. A ping jolted me. Ashes in reverse, nice posters on your wall. Another message, this one from someone I hadn't seen before, glass teeth. You should close your blinds. I froze. My blinds were open, just a crack. I could feel the chill of the night air through them. Slowly, I reached over and tugged them shut, my hands shaking. Another ping. Mod 7, too late, we've already seen. The chat exploded with distorted gifs and laughing emotes, but the humor was cruel, jagged. I couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't just trolling, that someone really was outside, watching. More files began to open on their own, one after another, as if the server was forcing them onto my screen. Corrupted images, faces blurred, screams that warped into laughter. I tried closing them, but they multiplied faster than I could click. Each file name shifted from random digits into words, sentences, warnings. Don't log off. Don't look away. Don't turn around. I wanted to quit, to run, but something inside me whispered that logging out wouldn't matter anymore, that they had already followed me past the screen. The final straw came when one of the files opened into plain text. Just 3 words, typed cleanly, no distortion, no glitching. We found you. I stared at it until my vision blurred. My breathing grew shallow, ragged, but I couldn't move. My mouse hovered, paralyzed, as more pings rolled in. Ashes in reverse, closer than you think. Glass teeth, smile for the camera. And then, without me clicking anything, a new tab slid open in Discord's sidebar. A voice channel. Listen. For the first time since joining, I heard the faint crackle of static through my headset. That was when the voice chat opened. I told myself it was just a prank, just some elaborate ARG, some edgy roleplay server. That's the only reason I clicked in to listen, to prove to myself there was nothing to fear. The second my headset connected, I knew I made a mistake. At first it was only static, low, crackling like tuning through a dead radio station. Then the static separated into layers, faint whispers beneath it, dozens of them all speaking at once. I couldn't catch words at first, just the rhythm, like 1,000 breaths weaving in and out of each other. Then slowly, the voices sharpened. Some were high, some low, some distorted like they were underwater. But one of them was mine. Not my voice right now, not the words in my head, but my voice speaking things I had never said. I heard myself describing what I was wearing, what I had eaten that night, the way the chair creaked when I shifted. My own voice, narrating the present moment with unnerving accuracy, seconds before it happened. I jerked back from the mic, heart hammering. More voices rose, overlapping, some giggling, others groaning. Some whispering my name with a hunger that made my skin crawl. Then, as if on cue, the noise cut off all at once. The silence was worse than the chaos. And in that silence, they spoke together. Every user in the channel, every warped voice, chanting in perfect unison. He is here, he is listening, he is almost ready. I scrambled to leave, but my cursor wouldn't move. My mouse might as well have been glued to the desk. The chant grew louder, layered, discordant, until it didn't even sound human anymore. Then a sound cut through, a deep, resonant tone like a bell struck underwater. With it came a countdown. 10. The number echoed across the channel, overlapping voices hammering it into my skull. 9. The lights in my room flickered. 8. The air grew heavy, pressing down on my chest. 7. My monitor warped, the Discord window rippling as if it were liquid. 6. I tried to pull my headset off, but the plastic dug into my skin, refusing to budge. 5. Through the distortion on screen, I saw usernames flickering, splitting into dozens of variations, each one a warped version of my own. 4. The whispering voices returned, except this time they weren't in my ears. They were in my room, crawling from the corners, murmuring from behind the walls. 3. I screamed for it to stop. My own voice joined theirs. I heard it, clear as day, my scream echoing in the channel before I even opened my mouth. 2. My vision swam, black spots blooming across the edges. 1. And then nothing. The channel disconnected with a hollow pop. The screen went still, the voices cut out, and for a moment the only sound in my room was my ragged breathing. Then came the notification, a new DM. From Mod 7. Just 3 words. You're almost chosen. My stomach turned cold, because I knew somehow that this wasn't just a message, it was a promise. That's when my real life started changing. It happened late one night, long after I'd convinced myself to avoid the server. I hadn't opened Discord in days, but the notifications wouldn't stop. They bled through everything. My laptop powered off, my phone smashed, even when I unplugged the router. The chimes still rang in the back of my skull. When I finally gave in and logged back on, a new channel waited for me. The name glowed faintly, as if pulsing with its own heartbeat. The Last Door. At first it was locked, grayed out, taunting me. Then, right before my eyes, the lock icon dissolved and the channel clicked open. I told myself not to look. I told myself nothing good could come from it. But curiosity isn't a choice when something is already pulling you forward. My mouse moved like it belonged to someone else. The channel was nothing like the others. No memes, no chat logs, no avatars, just walls of text. Long, clinical paragraphs written like reports. Each entry began with a username, ones I recognized from the server, and beneath it, a detailed account of their lives. Not just their online lives, their real ones. One file described a girl named Ashes in Reverse, her school, her hometown, the fights she had with her mother. Another detailed Glassteeth, his night shifts, the apartment he lived in, the way he always double-checked the locks on his door. Every log ended the same way. Status absorbed. My hands shook as I scrolled. These weren't roleplay notes. They weren't fiction. They were case files, autopsies written before the body had even gone cold. I searched the list of entries, my stomach twisting tighter with every name I passed. Dozens of users, then hundreds. Some I recognized from chat, others I didn't. But one detail made my blood run cold. Next to each username in parentheses was a real name, a place, a last login timestamp that aligned with a date of disappearance I dimly remembered seeing online. Missing posters, news reports, threads buried on Reddit. And every single one of them was here. I wanted to stop scrolling. I wanted to close Discord, smash my laptop, walk away. But then I saw it, my username. It sat at the very bottom, freshly added, glowing faintly against the black background. I clicked without thinking. The document unfurled like something alive. Paragraph after paragraph began to write themselves in real time, filling the screen with details about me. My childhood, my failed relationships, my late-night browsing habits, even things I had never told anyone, the sick thoughts I kept buried, the little mistakes I'd hoped were forgotten. All of it typed out in perfect, clinical detail. I stared in frozen horror as new lines appeared, word by word, describing exactly what I was doing. Subject is sitting at desk, subject's pupils dilated, subject's hands shaking over keyboard. I looked around my room, throat dry. There was no camera, no microphone I hadn't already destroyed, and yet the file updated with every twitch of my body, every breath. Then came the part that made my chest tighten like a vice. Subject will attempt to exit, subject will fail. The words appeared a half-second before I even tried to close the window, and when I did, the window froze, locked in place. I couldn't leave. Another line appeared. Subject will attempt to call for help. No one will answer. My phone buzzed, not with a call but with a notification from Discord. I hadn't reinstalled it. I hadn't touched my phone since smashing it, and yet the screen lit up, glowing with a message from Mod 7. Keep reading. So I did. I couldn't stop myself. The file scrolled further, paragraph after paragraph filling in, each one predicting my actions before I made them. I tried holding still, doing nothing, hopping to break the pattern, but the text adjusted seamlessly. Subject hesitates. Subject believes stillness will save him. It won't. By then my vision blurred with panic, but I couldn't pull away. I had to know how it ended, and then I saw the next line. Subject will discover method of termination. I froze. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. The cursor blinked, waiting, and slowly the letters began to form, the prediction of how I would die. I only caught the first few words before the screen flickered, cutting off mid-sentence. The rest dissolved into static, the text writhing like worms before disappearing completely. In its place came a single new entry, centered in the chat window. Almost complete. I leaned back, trembling, bile rising in my throat. That was the moment I understood. The server wasn't just watching me. It was writing me. The moment the last words appeared, it is writing me, everything in the server began to unravel. Channels blinked in and out of existence, appearing and vanishing so fast it made me dizzy. Hash feed, hash numbers only, midnight room, all of them collapsing like a house of cards. Every time one disappeared, a sharp electronic wail pierced my headphones, like the death cry of something that had lived too long inside the code. And then the chanting began. My username, over and over, flooding the chat in every channel at once. Hundreds of voices typing it, thousands of messages per second, until the screen glowed white with the repetition of my name. Then I heard it aloud, every voice from the server, speaking in perfect sync through my headset. He belongs, he belongs, he belongs. The heat from my laptop grew unbearable. Plastic warped, the casing hissed like it was alive. My hands blistered just trying to push the keyboard away. Still, I couldn't pull free. The words kept building, louder, faster, pounding through my skull until I thought it would crack. And then, as suddenly as it started, everything went silent. The server was gone. No trace of it remained in my list, not even in my cache or history. The invite link didn't exist anymore. Discord itself looked normal, ordinary, like nothing had ever happened. But I knew better. Because the notifications never stopped. I still hear them every night, the faint chime echoing from nowhere. My reflection glitches in the corner of my monitor sometimes, my face flickering into something I don't recognize. And when I close my eyes, I see the last words of my file, unfinished, waiting to be completed. I think I already know what they'll say. If you ever get that invite link, don't click it. Don't hover over it. Don't even let yourself wonder what's inside. Or maybe you already have. Maybe that's why you're still listening, still watching, hoping my story ends differently than theirs did. It won't, because servers don't die, they spread. And every word I've spoken, every detail you've absorbed, has already pulled you closer to it. I was foolish enough to join. And now you're hearing this. Which means it's your turn. I don't know how much longer I have. Every night the notifications come closer together. At first it was once an hour. Now it's every few minutes. Sometimes I hear them even when I'm not near a computer, just that hollow chime echoing in the back of my head. Like it's reminding me, you're still connected. That's why I'm telling you this. Because if you've ever seen the same link, if it's ever flashed across your DMs or a Dom forum post, you need to say something. Leave it in the comments. Describe what you saw. Tell me if your file appeared too, or if it's just me. Maybe, if enough of us piece it together, we can figure out how to break the cycle. Or maybe that's exactly what it wants. More names, more attention, more of us staring at the doorway until we're too curious not to step through. I can't tell anymore. All I know is the server doesn't spread like a virus. It spreads like a story, word of mouth, a whisper in a thread, a recording like this. The moment you hear about it, the moment you let yourself wonder, that's when it hooks you. That's when the door starts to open. And if you're still here, listening, then it's already cracked open for you. Look, I'm not asking you to believe me. Half of you probably think this is just another creepypasta, another dark web tale meant to keep you awake at night. But deep down, a few of you feel it. You've heard the same ping I have. You've seen your screen flicker at the corner of your eye. You've noticed new channels appear and vanish when you weren't recording. So tell me, tell all of us. Share your experiences below before the server erases them like it erases everything else. Because once it takes you completely, there won't be anything left to share. What? Hold on. I just heard something. That wasn't the usual chime. It was the Discord join sound. Someone's here. Someone just joined this call.